Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream. And yes, the season may well be over, but the work doesn't stop here. Lots of exciting stuff coming over the summer. There's going to be plenty of Chelsea news. We're going to be bringing you all of it as often as possible. And today we had the official announcement unveiling Mauricio Pochettino as the new Chelsea manager. We all knew this was going to happen, but we've now got the official statement from the club, which is very short, includes a few words from obviously the joint owners, Bowley, Egbali, and Hans-Jörg Weiss. I'll just get it up on screen and read it out. There's plenty of transfer news in the rounds. The race for Ugarte hotting up. Updates on Declan Rice, Conor Gallagher, Lewis Hall, Graham Potter might be going to Crystal Palace. I mean, not that that's that interesting anymore, but there's plenty of news to cover as always. Let me just bring this statement up on screen now. So it was announced at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Chelsea Football Club is pleased to confirm Mauricio Pochettino will become head coach of the men's team from the beginning of the 23-24 season. The Argentine will begin his new role on the 1st of July on a 2-year contract with a club option of a further year. Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley, Chelsea's co-sporting directors, said Maurizio's experience, standards of excellence, leadership qualities and character will serve Chelsea well as we move forward. He is a winning coach who has worked at the highest levels in multiple leagues and languages. His ethos, tactical approach and commitment to development all made him the exceptional candidate. Owners, the sporting team conducted a diligent and thoughtful process that the board is proud of. We are delighted that Mauricio will be joining Chelsea. Mauricio is a world-class coach with an outstanding track record. We are all looking forward to having him on board. Pochettino is a coach renowned for his side's high energy and eye-catching style, and he has built a reputation for helping young players release their full potential within a strong squad ethos. The 51-year-old has said, we already know that yet. Welcome to Chelsea, Mauricio. Dharmesh, thanks for coming as always, bro. Massively appreciated it. Obviously, we knew this was happening. Pretty standard, but we've got the announcement now, and the work can begin. Are you excited for Pochettino? I know I've asked you a few times now, but like obviously it's official. It's all done. He's going to take over starting July 1st. Officially, obviously, he'll be working behind the scenes from now. Probably has already been working behind the scenes. What are you expecting from him? Because this is a massive job. Like, I don't think the Chelsea job in recent years has ever been this difficult as to what Poch is coming into now.
Yeah, big up Charlie, big up the chat as well. Sub to the channel and stuff, and smash a like as well. I'm actually excited for Poch, man. I know, like, obviously we both discussed about an option like way back when we were linked to Enrique, and it was who's the other guy we were linked with? Mel Guzman. That's it. Yeah. And then kind of both of us were like from outside shout, like why not sort of flirt around Pochettino, see how that goes. And obviously now talks have like progressed since then. Obviously he's the official manager now, but yeah, I'm excited to see what he brings at Chelsea because even at Tottenham, I thought he did a great job. He's the only Tottenham manager that's sort of made them relevant for the past 20 or so years. Like I can't remember a manager in that time or even before then who sort of made Tottenham relevant in terms of a good top 4 team, potential title challenges as well. And like, yeah, he's completely transformed Tottenham into being a little bit more serious than we usually associate them with. Because under sort of Harry Redknapp and stuff, they're always a Europa League team, and then since then, they hired obviously AVB, and then they just fell short in that. But then Harry Pochettino from Southampton did well there. And yeah, he galvanized Tottenham Hotspur. He made them relevant again somewhat, brought in a lot of youth players, the likes of like Dele Alli, as well as Harry Kane as well, brought in like Wanyama and stuff like that, who were quality at the time, and even Moussa Dembele, if anyone remembers him as well, and solidified the defense as well. So yeah, it's exciting to see what you can do with the crop of players that we've got. And I think with the players that we have in terms of age and caliber, I think he's the best suited manager for what we've got. And yeah, I truly think we've got a good manager on our hands. And yeah, let's just see how he does in the transfer window. Let's just see what kind of shape and style of football that he implements for the start of the season. I mean, obviously we will probably see a 4-2-3-1 sort of style or 4-3-3 predominantly because that's what he mostly plays. But it'd be interesting to see what kind of players he uses. And he's been big on having a short squad or a small squad, should I say. And obviously not having European football next season is going to help massively for us, where I'm not saying we're going to win the league like last time, but it gives us a great chance to do well in the cups and potentially win the cups as well as aim higher up in the league, to be honest.
No, I agree, mate. I've got a little question for everyone in the chat. Don't cheat. I mean, there's no prizes or anything, but yeah, 5 managers have managed both Chelsea and Tottenham. Who are the 5 managers? I'll come back to you later on, mate. We'll let people have a go in the chat, but 5 managers have managed Spurs and Chelsea. Pop your answers in the chat, and I'll let you know if you're right, guys. Yeah, mate, look, I'm excited by this. I think it's going to be good for the club. I think it's exactly what the club needs right now. But there's no doubt in my mind that this is probably one of the most difficult positions to pick up the Chelsea manager's job in. I think Graham Potter had it pretty tough when he took it over, but I actually think it's even harder now. Walking into what we've got at Chelsea, and Pochettino is going to have to use every bit of the experience and his managerial ability that he's got and he's picked up. No, there's 2 more, mate. There's 2 more. Yes, big up people tuning in from Ethiopia. Appreciate the worldwide love as always. There's 2 more. It is Jose Poch and Conte, but there's 2 more.
I've got all 5, by the way. So I don't know if you want me to put a private chat.
No, mate, we can. I know they are. We can wait a little bit. But yeah, I think this is going to be this is going to be tough. No 2 ways about it. There's a lot of work to be done. The squad's got to be trimmed down. 30 plus players. Need to get the players out that don't want to be here. I've said this many times before. And he's going to have to be allowed to do what he needs to do and put a stamp on put his stamp on things, find an identity, formulate a tactical plan, and all these sorts of things. And the players are going to have to buy into it. And if you're not prepared to buy into it, you need to be shown a door. And I don't care if like, for example, if you were Thiago Silva, this is just hypothetically speaking, and you weren't buying into the methods of Pochettino, you weren't on board with it, then you'd have to be shown the door. We'd have to start, operating as a ruthless organization and football club again. Because for too long now, we've just been, operating on sentimentality. And not taking ruthless decisions when we need to be doing it. So, yeah, I'm excited for Poch. Officially starting July 1st. He'll obviously take charge of the pre-season tour of the States. I think his first game will be against Wrexham. I mean, kind of mad that we're playing Wrexham in pre-season. We're on a proper mid-table pre-season tour. We've got Wrexham. We've got fucking Brentford, Newcastle, Fulham, and Brighton in some of our pre-season fixtures. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. They're all teams that finished above us at the end of the day. So, it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited for him, but he's certainly gonna have his work massively cut out. There's no 2 ways about it. Yeah, the 5 are Jose, Conte, Poch, and then obviously AVB and Glenn Hoddle from a little bit further back as well. But it's kind of mad. I think Hoddle and Pochettino are the only ones that had managed Spurs first before managing Chelsea. So yeah, 2 have gone Spurs to Chelsea. The other 3 have all gone Chelsea to Spurs. Not necessarily directly, but they obviously they've crossed that London divide. Moving away from Pochettino now. I wouldn't be against giving Enzo the armband. I think he's showing great leadership qualities. I mean, Dharmesh, would Enzo be a good captain candidate for you? Or do you think it's too soon for him, having literally just arrived a couple months ago?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit too soon, but I kind of get what John just said in the comment there about giving Enzo the armband. Like, it's not the worst idea. I just think that it's too early because he's literally just come to the club. Like, he's not even been here like 3 or 4 months. So I'll probably wait a little bit, maybe as a vice captain option. Maybe I think that'll be good. But I think for now, obviously we discussed about the captaincy thing on the previous stream and stuff. But say when Thiago Silva does leave in the future, in the season or 2, and say if Reece isn't the captain, then or I put a shout out there for Ben Chilwell to be captain. But if it's neither of them, then give it to Enzo. Why not? Like, he's shown leadership qualities. He's even his Instagram post today as well. Like, it just shows like what he knows what it means to play for Chelsea, even though he's only been there 3-4 months. But I just think it's too soon. I don't really like giving the captaincy armband to players that have just literally come into the club. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you feel the same or anyone else in the chat feels the same. But I just think it's a little bit weird.
Yeah, I think he probably look if it ends up being him, I don't think it's a disaster by any means. But at the same time, I do want it, like, I do feel it should go to someone that's been here a little bit longer, got a little bit more experience. I'm not, look, he's obviously achieved a lot in his short career in terms of he's a World Cup winner, he's a Copa America winner, he's a British record transfer to the Premier League. I mean, already, all at the age of 22. I'm not saying the armband would phase him, but maybe it's perhaps a bit of extra pressure that maybe he just doesn't quite need at this point in his Chelsea career. By all means, maybe be a vice captain or be part of the captaincy kind of group. A lot of clubs now seem to have like leadership groups, 4 or 5 players part of the leadership groups. So, you know, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be part of that. But by all accounts, even looking at Azpilicueta yesterday, you know, it looks to me like he, I mean, it's obviously going to be up to Pochettino, but it looks to me like Aspie could well be here next season. You know, his post yesterday, kind of thanking the fans, and it was an emotional day for him, and all that sort of thing. There was no I wasn't picking up any indications on the lap of honour or from his posts on social media afterwards that was his last game for the club and he wasn't going to be here next season. From what he said, it very much looked like he was going to be, he's going to be hanging around the place. But I don't really know. But just briefly on Aspie whilst we're covering it, time to move on.
Oh yeah, definitely for Aspie. Like, big up the banner as well. I think it was at the Shedden, wasn't it? The banner yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, look really good, and obviously he deserves like that banner deserves that sort of attention and praise from the fans. I believe our fans did clap him and stuff yesterday, as well as Ruben, all over the stadium, which was a nice touch to see. And yeah, I've always said like this guy's just been one of the best, honestly, one of the best fullbacks. A big up Zula in the chat as well. Yeah, he's been one of the best fullbacks over the past decade or so. Him, as well as Ivanovic, could arguably be one of our best right backs. It's that nice debate to have over who you prefer out the two, and you wouldn't be wrong on either if you had to pick, to be honest. And yeah, Aspie was class up until I'll probably say until I think he started declining in Sarri season, but I think he had a good 1920 season under Lampard. I thought he was one of the better players that season. Yeah. Then just since the past 4 or 5 years, you could rightly criticize him and rightly slate him for whatever reason in terms of the performance on the pitch, but his commitment to the club, his love for the club, you can't fault that at all. And yeah, he's definitely a legend in my eyes. And I hope people see that as well in terms of our fan base, because some people see him as cult heroes, but some people just outright don't like him, which I find quite ridiculous, to be honest. But
it was mad yesterday, right? After the game, I was hanging around a little bit. Aspie come out in his car, and there's like people swamping his, like literally swarming around his car, doing the we'll just call you Dave chart, mate. He literally couldn't get out. He couldn't get out the bridge. But like there's still mad love for Aspie. Yes, you know his legs have gone a bit. He's not the same player he was a few years ago. There's no doubt about it. And in an ideal situation, you don't want to be relying on him on a frequent basis whatsoever. But you cannot underestimate or play down what he's done for this football club.
£7 million.
£7 million quid. I mean, I don't know what that would equate to in today's market, but you know, £7 million quid back in 2012, the year after we won the Champions League. And ironically, talking of Champions League, it's 2 years to the day today that we won in Porto. So Kai Havertz scoring number 29 on the 29th. Mad how that's 2 years ago already. How things change quickly. 2 years ago, champions of Europe, now not even in European competition next season. Life comes
so
at
much
you.
has happened, man.
Life comes at you fast. But yeah, to me, it looks like Aspie. I suspect if I was a betting man right now, I would say that, like, from just a hunch, that I think Poch would quite like to have Aspie around the place. Maybe not necessarily playing him, because we're going to have Malagusto and Reece James, but I just think that experience factor is going to be important. Yes, it's great to have a young squad full of exciting, talented players, but you've got to have some experience for these guys to learn off and keep them grounded. And I think Aspie does tick a lot of those boxes. So I think in that aspect, it would be worth keeping him around. Right, we're going to get onto this now about Manu Ugarte. So let me just get rid of this Poch stuff. Chelsea, according to Rob Pratley, big up Rob, does great work. He's been on the channel a few times. I'll try and get him back on at some point as well. He has said that he's been doing a Twitter space. It might still be on now. I'm not sure if it's finished. He was saying that he said there is a verbal agreement on personal terms between Manu Ugarte and Chelsea. Chelsea are very confident that they can get this over the line. They are working to get the deal done quickly. Sporting Lisbon are already working on a replacement for Ugarte. Chelsea have discussed Datro Fofana and Andre Santos as options to go on loan for Sporting to sweeten the deal. Now, what are your thoughts on that, mate? Do you think that we could potentially hold the upper hand over PSG in terms of being able to offer Sporting players on loan? And a loan to Sporting Lisbon in the Portuguese league would be pretty good for the likes of Datro Fofana or Andre Santos. And I think they'd probably be more interested in Andre Santos because he's a midfielder. Whilst it's not like they're not exactly the same like for like, but they are obviously both midfield players. So that would make sense for Sporting. It would make sense for Andre Santos. It would help him get regular minutes in a top 5 league. It would be really beneficial for us as well. Do you think that makes sense if that were to happen?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's where we sort of have the upper hand over PSGs in terms of the pick of the players that Sporting would want from us in terms of a loan or permanent move, to be honest. And Manu Ugarte, like he's a really good player, man. Like he's one of the options that I'd take at the club as well for the price that we're paying as well. I think the only thing that worries me is potentially European football. But obviously Ugarte sort of like or I don't know if he specified or he's kind of hinted that European football, he's not too fast if he doesn't have it for next season because he's only 21, isn't he? So
21 or 22, yeah.
He's got ages really to play in the Champions League and stuff. He's not desperate. So with regards to that, that's the only thing I'm sort of concerned about is how desperate he would potentially be to play European football. But he's sort of stated that he's not fast. And yeah, he said he loves the Premier League, wants to move there one day and stuff. So, and yeah, obviously we're the sort of club that are closest sort of to getting him in terms of Premier League clubs. So yeah, why not? And then, I think him and Enzo in the midfield will be.
It would be a mad pivot. That it
would be crazy, man.
It would be class, but I mean, obviously Ugarte is a lot further along in his development than obviously Andre Santos. He's about he's 2 or 3. He's about 3 years older than him, maybe 4 years. But I do feel we also have to be a little bit careful. If we're going to be signing young midfielders, that we don't kind of block the path for the likes of Andre Santos, for example, just because, you know, how many of these are we going to sign? And then what does that mean to Santos and kind of where he fits in? I mean, personally, for me, I think a loan would be perfect for him next season. The guy's obviously is a big talent. He's done great in Brazil. He's done great for the Brazilian youth sides. But ultimately, I don't think he's ready to have a spot in the Chelsea first team squad next season. And at his age, he needs to be playing regular football and get exposure to football at the top level to help improve his game. When you're that young, you want to be playing as often as you possibly can. And the fact that he's got no experience outside of the Brazilian first division means that he needs to go and play somewhere regular. And I think the Portuguese league, Sporting Lisbon, it could be a really good fit for him. There'll be some sort of European football in there as well. I think it's probably going to be Europa League for Sporting next season. I could be wrong on that. But I just think it would tick all the boxes. I mean, Dharmesh, do you think that a loan for Santos makes sense next season? I can't really see how he gets the minutes that he would need to help develop his game by staying around in the squad next season.
Yeah, he definitely has to go on loan next season because if we're considering signing at least 2 or 3 midfielders, then he's not going to fit in alongside the midfielders that we currently have, which I expect to stay, i.e. Conor Gallagher, Chukwuemeka, who I expect to stay. Well, we don't know obviously about Mason Mount if he's going to stay or not. Cover, Kante, and who's the other midfielder? I forgot. Loftus-Cheek. That's it. Yeah, them 3 look like they're out the door, but then we still have a bunch of midfielders that are sort of at our club. So with regards to that, I think Santos definitely needs a loan move. Whether that's somewhere in Europe or Sporting Lisbon would be perfect. Have they qualified for the Champions League next season? I'm not sure.
Mate, I think it could be Europa League. But
okay,
they've got European football though.
Exactly, yeah. That obviously help Andre Santos as well. I mean, if he can get a championship loan, I don't know if he'd be up for that, or maybe another Premier League loan. I'm not sure.
I don't know if anyone would take him on loan in the Premier League, possibly, but I think a loan to somewhere like Portugal would be great for him. There'd be no language issues because they speak Portuguese in Brazil and whatnot. His exposure in a top 5 European league, it's European football, and it can only help develop his game. So there's no reason why that can't work. But I mean, mate, are you pleased to see that we're moving quickly in the transfer market? Because for me, moving at speed quickly and effectively in a market is going to be so important this summer, because so many of the top teams are all shopping for the same positions, and the quality that the top teams need, we're going to be very much shopping for the same players pretty much. So you have to act quick, you have to act smart, otherwise you're going to miss out on your targets and have to go for targets lower down your list. I mean, it is kind of a unique situation, isn't it, mate, where the top teams are all shopping for pretty much the same players, give or take maybe one or two.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's good that we're sort of moving fast as well, because I keep going back to this European football thing, because I think it's going to be a massive thing that goes against us this summer in terms of players wanting to come to clubs, because one of their thought process will be, I want to play in the Champions League or Europa League this year, and I don't want to just play domestically. So we have to act fast, and that's why I give Chelsea a lot of credit. Is in previous transfer windows, we've always been cunning, determined to get players in. Like we saw even in January as well, how cunning and quick we were in terms of signing players as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I sort of do trust us off the pitch in a way where we can get deals done. It's very rare that we sort of bottle a deal or get deals not done, like i.e. last season, where obviously the ownership came in. They have to learn a lot from that, to be honest, because we don't want Barcelona sniffing around again, which obviously they kind of are, given the recent reports. But I think that's just I just think the Barcelona links are just like a pusher to Ugarte to move, basically. I think it's just used as a decoy.
My only concern on the Barcelona thing is that for South American players, playing in La Liga for Barcelona or Real Madrid is like always their dream. And you do just worry that if the Barcelona was serious, if the Barcelona interest turned out to be serious, like, we know Ugarte says he wants to play in the Premier League, but he's young enough to go somewhere else and then go and play in the Premier League. But also you could flip it. He's young enough to go to the Premier League and then go and play for Barcelona or whatever in a few years' time. If the interest was genuine, I'm not sure. But like, it doesn't matter how big a football club you are. Unfortunately, for the likes of Chelsea and Premier League teams, is that when those big teams in La Liga, your Real Madrid or your Barcelona's come calling, it's very difficult to stop any of your players going to join them. So I guess there's always a thought in the back of the mind where you're like, let's just get this wrapped up as quickly as possible. Because if that Barcelona interest becomes concrete and it kind of maybe turns Ugarte's head a little bit, and they can potentially sort themselves out financially, then we could have a Rafinha 2.0, a Koundé situation as well. I mean, do you worry about that, mate? That we could get bit sort of PTSD flashbacks to missing out on those players last summer, Rafinha as well?
Yeah, especially with Barcelona sniff around. It's definitely giving me some PTSD over last summer, but hopefully the ownership have sort of learned from that, and obviously we're brought in the right people this time in terms of recruitment people to get the job done quicker. And I think hopefully they've learnt their lesson from last summer, not to just faff around and scattergun towards players and actually have some targets that are set. But yeah, we both keep saying the quicker everything gets done, the better, to be honest. And that way, Poch can plan properly as well. Because Poch, did he talk to Ugarte or he wanted Ugarte?
I'm not really sure, but supposedly Poch wants Ugarte. He was a name that he put to the owners. I don't think Ugarte was originally on Chelsea's list, but Pochettino is keen on getting Ugarte. So yeah, let's see what we can do. But we need to move fast. We have to move fast. Let me get to a few things in the chat very quickly. Any interesting players from Leicester or Leeds? I wouldn't take any players. I wouldn't take any players from Leeds. Maybe Tyler Adams as maybe a rotation option in midfield, but other than that, I'm not taking any players. Willie Nontos is an exciting player. I like Cyril Somerville as well, but ultimately we're well stocked in those kind of positions, so we don't really need
Jack
it.
Harrison?
Not good enough, mate. For me, not good enough for what we're trying to do. In terms of Leicester, I mean, I would probably take Tielemans. I'd obviously definitely take James Maddison.
Yeah.
And I mean, probably not most. We just don't need that sort of player in the team. But a few years ago, mate, I would have snapped your arm off for Wilfred Ndidi. But for whatever reason, mate, he's kind of fallen off a cliff. I don't know what's happened to his footballing ability, because he's nowhere near the player that he used to be. I'm pretty certain he won't be playing Championship football next season, but I don't see him getting a move to a Big Six Premier League team, which a couple of years ago would have been an absolute shoo-in for him.
What about Southampton, bro? Who would you take from Southampton?
Lavia, that's it.
You wouldn't take Ward-Prowse? No,
definitely
okay,
not.
fair enough.
No, definitely not for me. It seems like a good segue to move on to Southampton. Romeo Lavia, this same space. I mean, big up to this clinical cuckoo, obviously a Cucurella stand, but he's obviously smashed out this thread with all the key points from this Twitter space, which is actually really helpful. So big up to this guy. Let's have a look what we've got here. Oh Jesus, there's loads of midfield stuff. Right, let's get into this midfield stuff then. Chelsea are still interested in Romeo Lavia, and he wants to join. Price tag around £40 million. Dharmesh, this makes sense to you? Again, another young midfielder. My concern here is that where's the experience coming from? I wouldn't be happy going into next season with a 22-year-old Enzo, a 21, 22 Ugarte, and like an 18 or 19-year-old Romeo Lavia. It just lacks. It massively lacks top-level experience. I mean, firstly on Lavia, would you be happy for him to come in? Makes sense. Would be cheap, given Southampton have been relegated, and for the quality of player and the ceiling that he's got, it represents a great deal.
Oh yeah, we should definitely be all over Lavia, man. Like, I rate this guy so much, man. Like every time I've seen him play, especially against most recently against Arsenal was when they drew 3-3. He was sensational against them, man. And even against us, man.
As soon as he went off, didn't they?
Exactly. And even against us, bro, at the bridge, like he was so good.
Mate, he was running proceedings at that game.
I remember that turn he did against Enzo, man. I'm like, wow, okay, this guy is definitely the truth, man. Like, yeah, I'm all over Lavia, man. We should definitely get him. I rate this guy highly. Got energy in midfield. It's physical as well for quite a small guy, to be honest, as well, because he's not the biggest player, is he, Lavia?
No, he's not. He's not the biggest.
But he gets around the pitch quite well. Obviously, like you said, the experience thing's a big thing. Because he's only 18, 19, as you said. So I definitely wouldn't be satisfied.
He got one season of Premier League experience. So I think this was his first season in the Premier League this season.
I do think Lavia should be a player that we build in and mold into the team. I think he shouldn't be an automatic starter for us because I don't think he's that guy yet in terms of having that experience in the team. But I definitely think he could definitely be that guy with say like a Caicedo. Sorry, like a Caicedo coming in, or even Ugarte. Because how old is Caicedo? Is he 21?
Mate, I couldn't believe this the other day when I found this out. He's still 21, Caicedo. I mean,
so like all these midfield choices, already. But
what I would say though on him, what I would say on him is though, like, yes, he's young, but at the same time, he's got Premier League experience. He's done it in this league, and that for me counts. That's more of a positive than the fact that he's 21. He'll get much better, but he knows this league inside out already. Which kind of counteracts the fact that he's obviously only 21 years of age.
Who else would you look? Here's a question for you guys in the chat as well as yourself, Charlie. Like, okay, take the age factor out of it. So, who would you take in midfield who's someone above 25? Like
above 25. I mean, Declan Rice is 24. I'd obviously I'd take him. Of course, I would. We'll get onto him a little bit later on. But then you're looking at players like I'm a massive fan of Joshua Kimmich. I think he might be 26, but again, that's not going to happen. But you know, in this kind of age range, there's not that many. Look,
that's kind of concerning at the same time as well. Like that experience is lacking in that sense.
It's tough to get it right. But what I would say is as well, what's really important is that we need strength in depth. But you also need quality in depth because you need to have a situation where if Enzo isn't available, then the drop off isn't that big. You can look at it and just be like, right, let's put a Lavia in there, or let's put an Ugarte there, let's put a Kone there, let's put a whatever there. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now the drop off, no disrespect to these guys who have been good servants for the club, but if Enzo wasn't able to play, the next option down is a Loftus-Cheek or a Gallagher, and it's just not good enough. You need to bridge the gap in terms of quality. You need really two top level players in each position, and I know that's going to be hard to keep that caliber of player happy, only playing once a week. But we've got to look at the bigger picture here. We must do because we need that quality and that strength and depth. Imagine like next season, right? Let's say we had Enzo, Ugarte, Lavia, and Caicedo as our four midfielders, with Kante as a fifth, playing as and when he's fit and whatnot. That would be a madness. Those five.
Yeah, It would be, yeah, definitely.
And that's the sort of quality. That's the kind of the quality and depth that you need at the top level. You know, you look at Manchester City. Yes, all right, Calvin Phillips is a bit shit, but a lot of, in fairness to Calvin Phillips, a lot of players, a lot of players don't do well in their first year at City. I'll judge him more based on how he does next season, because the first season in a Pep team is often very difficult for a lot of players. But I mean, yeah, Lavia wants to come. This sounds like it shouldn't be too difficult to get this deal done then, really. If we're being honest with ourselves here. I mean, how many midfielders do you see us signing, mate? Because I don't really see us signing more than 2. I just look at it. If it was to be Ugarte and Lavia, I just don't know if that's enough experience, because the 2 of them together aren't going to revolutionise this midfield like we need it to be done.
Yeah, obviously, what I want is for us to sign 3 midfielders. That's what I want, but realistically, I think we'll get 2 in this summer only. But I honestly couldn't tell you which 2 that I think will come in. The 2 that I want is a different story. Sorry, the 3 that I want, actually, because I said 3, didn't I? So
yeah.
And by the way, one of the 3 is Ilkay Gundogan. That's one of the ones that I want in midfield.
On a
I know
3?
it's very unlikely, but
yeah, I mean, he could.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It shouldn't be ruled out him re-signing at City either,
because you got that experience factor as well in there.
Yeah,
because then you say you get Ilkay Gundogan.
I think he's what, 32.
Lavia. Yeah, 32.
Yeah.
You got Gundogan, you got Lavia, for example, and then you got either Caicedo or Ugarte. I think I'd be very happy if we somehow got those 3, or if we got in, let's just say, for example, a Gundogan and a Caicedo, or Gundogan and a Lavia, or Gundogan and Ugarte. I think I'll be quite satisfied with that as well, because on one hand you got the experience, as we said before, but then you got the quality and the youthness of the other. So yeah, it's a strange one. I do think we'll get 2. My gut says realistically we'll get Ugarte and Lavia in. I don't think we'll get Caicedo for some reason. I don't know.
Whilst that's exciting, that's just not. I just don't think that's good enough. Like, it's mad to say that. I still think we need 1 more. I'll bring that.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I'll bring this thread back up on the screen. But according to Jacob Steinberg in The Guardian, Manu Ugarte is admired by Pochettino. Ugarte is being prioritised. Chelsea's shortlist includes Yusuf Fofana. I think that's the Monaco one. Romeo Lavia, Moises Caicedo, and Alexis McAllister. Kovacic and Mount are expected to be sold. Now, mate, if you had to pick 3 from those 4, I guess it would be Lavia, Caicedo, and Alexis McAllister still on the list. I mean, I don't know. Not for me either. Certainly not at 70 million quid. I mean, how much money are we going to spend this summer?
Lavia's exactly. We've got goalkeeper to address as well.
40 million for Lavia, roughly 52 million for Ugarte. That's already 90 odd million. And McAllister could cost 70. You're almost looking at 160 odd million quid, 170 million quid on midfielders.
I think that's very excessive, and given the fact we need to address striker and goalkeeper as well. But I'm just looking at this list again. I haven't heard of Yusuf Fofana before, to be honest with you. But yeah, if I had to pick 2 of that list, I'll probably go Lavia and Caicedo in that list, just because I've watched them play. They've had Premier League experience as well, and yeah.
Yeah, I reckon so, mate. I reckon so. Declan
Rice's name's not in there either.
No, it's not, mate. And I think that nicely brings us on to the Declan Rice situation now. According to Rob, and in fairness to him, he's normally pretty spot on with a lot of things. By the way, guys, 50 people locked in tonight. Big up yourselves on this bank holiday if you're in the UK or wherever you are from around the world. I appreciate the love, as always, from everyone. Keep smashing the likes, people. Let's get this to 30 likes. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let's expand this community as we head into the summer months. So yeah, keep doing your thing, people. Let's get this to 30 likes. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It would be greatly appreciated. And you can also donate via the super chat function as well if you are feeling generous tonight, guys. Okay, let me bring this back up. Let's move on to Declan Rice. Now, where are we? I'll get back to that as well. Right, according to Rob, Declan Rice is not an option at Chelsea. It won't happen. That's quite upsetting for me. I'm a big Declan Rice guy. But it's clear that despite all the links we've had with Rice over the years, and it was obvious, Chelsea were kind of in the running, there haven't really been any concrete links to Rice and Chelsea, other than the fact that Chelsea would be interested in him, like they would be in any other top player. It looks like to me that maybe Rice just isn't going to happen for us. I mean, how disappointed are you, mate, that seems to be becoming a bit more of a reality, that Declan Rice, certainly in his next move, is not going to be a Chelsea player?
Yeah, I think I said to you on our previous stream or on Lawrence's stream, I can't remember, but I see with Rice, obviously he's a great player. I want him and stuff as well. He's another midfield option that obviously we didn't discuss before, but if we don't get him, I genuinely think that there's equally as good players out there that we can get in. Obviously, without that Premier
just
League
quickly, mate, do you not think that we? Do you not think that we have to? Would you think it's a problem if we didn't get Rice and Caicedo? I feel that we have to get one of them. It looks like now we're not going to get Rice, so it looks like it's going to have to be all the eggs in a Caicedo basket. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. With what you said about either Rice or Caicedo, but I'm leaning more towards the Caicedo. I'd be more gutted if we didn't get Caicedo than Rice, if I'm being honest with you. But then again, that's nothing towards Declan Rice. I think he's such a good player, man. Very versatile leader as well, which we lack in midfield. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of understood in my head that we're not going to get him just because there wasn't really any serious links. It's more sort of like a nostalgia thing for him in terms of he used to be part of the academy and stuff. He's obviously mates with Mount Chilwell and stuff, and obviously there was those.
I mean, if Mount leaves as well, that makes it even less likely. I think
exactly, but definitely, I'm more Caicedo than Rice. But say if you end up getting Declan Rice, let's just say it happens. Like I know, obviously the source that you got up there saying it won't happen, but let's just say it does. Like I'm not going to be upset about it too. I'll be very
no,
happy
of course not. I don't think we can be upset if Declan Rice signed for Chelsea. I mean, I'd probably go and purchase a shirt with Rice on the back. I probably would do that. Athard in the chat here, hopefully not butchered that pronunciation. Ugarte, Caicedo, Enzo would be a fire midfield. It would be. I mean, that would be. Wow. That's getting me a bit excited. That would be outrageous. I mean, it would be outrageous. That
I think that's the best of the best midfield that you can ask for in terms of a balance of everything and what you can sort of wish for in terms of the signings. I think that's the perfect midfield three for now. Yeah, I think that's just crazy. But yeah, I mean, where do you see Declan Rice going?
Mate, I honestly, to me, it looks like Arsenal. But then it's reported on Sky today. Obviously, they tend to do things a little bit later just because they've got to go through so many processes before they can actually put news out. It's not like Twitter where you can just bang anything out. But reporting that Rice has spoken to Thomas Tuchel on the phone in the last couple of days. He's a priority target for Bayern Munich. That would be kind of mad as well. If I'm being perfectly honest, if we're not going to get Rice, I would rather he didn't go to another Premier League team just because he's going to strengthen another team and one of our rivals an endless amount. So if he goes to Bayern Munich, I think that would be a good move. We see a lot of younger British players making the move to the Bundesliga. I mean, mate, do you think Declan Rice to Bayern Munich and working under Thomas Tuchel would be a good move?
It's an interesting move for him actually because Bayern obviously the best team in the Bundesliga and he's almost guaranteed at least 2 trophies there. So and then I believe is Goretzka going to leave at the end of the season?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, I don't really know. There's rumours about Goretzka, Kimmich, and whatnot, but I mean, at Bayern, you just never know what's going to happen, really.
Yeah, that's true. Then they obviously Rice will probably either take one of their places, so it probably looks like one of them's going to leave. So obviously they'll be looking at a midfield, and I don't know how serious the links were with Rice when Thomas Tuchel was at Chelsea. I'm not sure if there were any sort of serious links between the both of them, but. Yeah, it's clear to see that Tuchel obviously rates Rice. He wants him there. I mean, it'll be a really good move for him, to be honest. I think he'll definitely smash it in the Bundesliga, bro. The amount of space that you get in midfield, the amount of times he can drift in. We've seen how well Bellingham's excelled in the Bundesliga. I think Rice will equally do as well. And obviously you get Champions League football as well. which is obviously massive for him as well. And yeah, like you said, I'd rather he go to a team outside the Prem because he'll strengthen any midfield in the league, whether that's at City, Liverpool, United, Arsenal, even. Or obviously he's not linked to Tottenham, but if he does go to Tottenham, then he'll strengthen them as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. Let's move on. We got other midfielders. There's a lot of stuff in here. Let's talk about goalkeepers because here at the moment, there's a couple of other midfielders. Sorry, Christopher Vivell is pushing for Manu Kone, price tag around 50 million euros. He's a top target for the club. Maybe an option there. Kefram Turam as well has been offered to Chelsea. As of now, Newcastle is the most well-placed team for his signature. Right, let's move on to goalkeepers because someone in the chat earlier asked about goalkeepers and I skipped over it. So let's talk about goalkeepers. Dharmesh, for you, my guy. Goalkeepers, what are you saying? Obviously, it looks like Edouard Mendy's going to go. I think it was pretty clear. He was saying it's goodbye just today in the lap of honour. There's not really a future for him at Chelsea. Who would you be looking to bring in this summer in goal? We've been linked with Andre Onana. This here, Rob saying here, it's likely that there will be another inquiry into Emiliano Martinez. Aston Villa are reluctant to sell. Chelsea are also interested in David Raya. Let's start with Emiliano Martinez, mate. What would your thoughts be on a move for him? I mean, Villa would probably charge quite a lot of money for him, given that it's an inter-team. It's a interleague. It's a domestic transfer, is what I'm trying to say. That's probably going to make it a bit more expensive. Does Martinez move the needle in goal for Chelsea? Is that a significant upgrade on what Kepa and Mendy are? Is that a potential Premier League winning goalkeeper for the club in years to come? I mean, where do you stand on Martinez? Obviously, he had a very good World Cup. I think he's been decent at Villa, but is he kind of one of the top sort of 5 or 6 keepers in the world? I don't know.
I think he's an upgrade from Kepa and Mendy, but I don't think he's Alisson, Edison, Courtois level of a goalkeeper.
Or Mike Maignan.
Yeah, or him as well. I don't think he's that level, but I definitely think he's an upgrade. So it's a bit of a weird one, Martinez, and obviously with Poch coming in as well, there's that obviously Argentinian link as well with him in there. But depending on the price, I actually wouldn't mind Emi Martinez as a goalkeeper for us. Well, it's remains to be seen whether he can actually take us to the title in a sense, whether that's gaining points for us, because we've always had that sort of saying that goalkeepers win you at least 10 points throughout the season. Can Emi Martinez be that goalkeeper? I don't know. But is he an upgrade from Kepa Mendy? Yes. So it's a bit of a weird one. I think it just depends on the price. But the goalkeeper I want personally is Marc-André ter Stegen. That's the goalkeeper I want.
I don't think we'll get him, unfortunately. That's the thing. Is I can't see that happening.
It's unlikely, but I think that's what my sort of first choice for goalkeeper would be him. With what's out there and obviously I don't think it's that realistic to get ter Stegen in, but I'm still not sure about David Raya, if I'm being honest with you, and Onana as well. I'm a bit unsure with both of them.
I think Onana's phenomenal with his feet. Got great distribution as well. He's not a bad keeper, but I think the problem in a goalkeeping position for me is that there's not many goalkeepers that are top class. If you're looking at the best goalkeepers in the world, you're basically looking at, for me, the top 4. And this is not in order, by the way, but I think the 4 best in the world: Edison, Alisson, Courtois, Mike Maignan. And unfortunately, we're not getting any of those. So we're then looking at the next rung down, and we're looking at the likes of your Onanas, who I think is a very good goalkeeper. David Raya, I haven't really watched enough of him, even though he plays for Brentford. I've not seen enough of Raya to suggest that he could be the answer. I don't really know.
Well, he's definitely leaving. That's a fact.
Oh, he's definitely leaving Brentford. They've signed a keeper from Frankfurt as a replacement for him. Let's see what the people in the chat are saying. Onana is underrated. Fair. I mean, I've not watched an awful lot. I thought he was very good at Ajax. Then he obviously had that ban. Then he's come to Inter and he's done reasonably well. I mean, Inter are a club that are financially struggling, and even if they were to win the Champions League, they'd still need to sell players. And reportedly, they are expecting a substantial offer, quote unquote, from Chelsea.
Here's the thing: we give them Lukaku and they give us Onana. Sorted.
Yeah, mate. If only, mate. Bowley needs to make a swap deal work. During his time at Chelsea, I want to see a swap deal from him.
Me too.
Oh, we need a strike. We need a keeper and a striker, but Poch will know what we need. Yeah, Poch will definitely know what we need. Everyone knows what we need, really. Martinez will add a whole different dimension to our squad. I mean, yeah, he's ballsy, Martinez. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's shit, but like, maybe I'm just aiming too high. And actually, do you know what? He's amongst the next rung down from those guys. I mean, mate, what are your thoughts on? Because we were linked with a potential move for Keylor Navas from PSG, 36 years of age. I mean, what would your thoughts be on potentially bringing in a more veteran stopper for maybe a couple of years, and then reassess the goalkeeping market in a couple of years' time when, an example, Ter Stegen could be available, or an Oblak might be available, or a Mike Maignan, the situation might be easier to get him. What are your thoughts on potentially maybe going for more of a veteran shot stopper like a Keylor Navas, who is probably going to be available for transfer from PSG this summer? I think that could potentially be a smart route that the club should maybe look at going down.
Yeah, Keylor obviously interesting one because he's on loan, isn't he? He's technically
He was
not
on
at
loan at
Forest, is he?
Forest, but yeah, he's obviously would have gone back to PSG now.
Exactly. So it's one of them where I wouldn't mind Keylor Navas as say if he was our number one for next season, like that'd be like you said, a smart sort of transfer for the club, and then sort of reassess the goalkeeping situation after that, and then potentially have Navas as a number two, because I think he'll be a great number two as well for us. Say if we do get like eventually if Magnon comes into us, Keylor Navas could be a great number two for us, but. Yeah, I think for next season, yeah, I think goalkeeper is probably the toughest position
It's a
for
really
me
tough
to
one
think
to
about
fill.
who I really want. Apart from Ter Stegen, obviously that I mentioned. Apart from that, yeah, I just don't know, man. Not really
Mate,
sure.
Diogo Costa even from Porto.
I haven't watched much of him, to be honest with you,
I
apart from the
haven't
World
seen much
Cup.
of him
But
either.
I'm not sure.
I mean, the links on him seem to have gone a little bit quiet. Doesn't mean that nothing's happening, but he doesn't seem to be particularly being named in any links at the moment with keepers. Oblak would be great, of course it would, but there's no chance of we getting him out of Atletico Madrid. If we're going to get anyone out of Atletico this summer, it's more likely to be Joao Felix. I cannot see us getting Oblak.
Yeah. What about any lot from the relegation? Anyone that's gone down? Any
No,
goalkeeper? No. I'm trying to think of the
they're all
goalkeepers.
shite. Iverson, Robles, or Meslier at Leeds, and then you've got, I think, Alex McCarthy in goal at Southampton.
Okay, no, never mind then.
Yeah, no, I'm not taking any of those players. I would take Navas, would be cheap and tons of experience, plus a good goalkeeper. Onana is the best of these goalkeepers. He's a world class with his feet, unbelievable. But in terms of saves, average, I'd say fair. Most high praise indeed. Onana is similar to Edison of City, I suppose, in terms of his distribution and his quality on the ball. I think Onana could be a very good choice for Chelsea. Again, I'm not sure how much he'd cost. For me personally, out of the goalkeepers we've been linked with, I'd probably say Onana's the best option right now for us in that situation.
Couldn't argue with that, to be fair.
We can take Navas in this window and try to integrate Slanina slowly, maybe. Yeah, Slanina's going to have to go out on loan somewhere. Again, he's never played outside of the MLS, so he'd need to go on loan somewhere. For me, a top five league somewhere.
How about the Dortmund goalkeeper?
Gregor Kobel. Again, there were links with him. That again, I've not seen too much of that recently. He is another one that could potentially be in the list. But yeah, guys, guys in the chat, let me know your thoughts on the goalkeeper. Out of Onana, David Raya, and Keylor Navas, out of Emi Martinez, David Raya, and Onana, who would you like to see most from those? The goalkeeper position is a really tough one. Just lastly on goalkeepers, bro, do you think we get rid of both Kepa and Mendy this summer? I can't see both goalkeepers leaving. I don't think anyone's going to pay Kepa the wages that he's on at Chelsea or anywhere near that. I suspect Kepa probably ends up staying, but can you see a situation where we end up getting rid of both?
For next season, one of them will definitely stay. Obviously, I think it's more likely to be Kepa than Mendy. I think based on what sort of Poch sort of wants and what he sort of had in terms of a style of goalkeeper, I think Kepa's more suited to that in a way. And I do think Mendy's the one that's going to go. I just honestly don't know about Kepa at this point. Like, I genuinely think we would never offload this guy because he's on 100. Seriously, he's on like 150k a week,
170 or something. Yeah,
and he's got 2 years left, and like nobody's going to pay that. It's just, yeah, I genuinely don't see anyone paying the money for Kepa. We'll just have to get rid of him, and as soon as his contract runs out, to be honest.
Yeah, I do feel that's the only way we're going to probably be able to get rid of Kepa.
See,
We've
Kepa as a
got,
number two, I don't mind. I actually don't mind
yeah,
Kepa as a number
but
two.
would he want that?
That's see, that's the problem with
Yeah,
the money
I
he's
mean,
on, and we've seen with
if
United.
I mean to be fair, if Kepa was happy to be a number two goalkeeper, I think that I'd be more than happy with that.
Same, yeah.
No problem at all. But I'm just not sure if he would be at this stage of his career. Wants to try and keep his place in the Spain squad, being second fiddle to someone else at Chelsea is not really going to do his chances any good. And the fact that we're only playing once a week in the league, and we're going to have domestic cups, is not going to be very many opportunities for Kepa to play, because there's hardly any rotation in the goalkeeper position anyway. And the fact you take European football out as well makes it that little bit more difficult. Kepa won't leave. No, I agree on that. Martinez will be perfect. We should release both Kepa and Mendy. I mean, we're not going to release them, but I mean, yeah, we should sell. I mean, I don't know how much money we'd get for them, but we should be looking to sell for sure. Anana all day. Kepa will stay for one last season, then in 24, Selena replace him as second choice. Yeah, potentially. Don't think Kepa would be happy. Yeah, agreed. Emi Martinez or Anana. By the way, guys, keep smashing the likes. Almost 60 people in the building tonight. Big up yourselves. Let's get this to 40 likes, people. 7 more likes. I know there's plenty of you tuned in that haven't smashed the like. Also smash the subscribe button as well. 5 more likes to 40, guys. Let's bump this up to 40 likes. It's been a great stream so far. So I've got a few more bits to go through before we round this one out. So your continued support would be greatly appreciated, guys. Right. Let's get into a bit more of this thread then. There's a lot of shit to unpack here. Let's move into the centre forward conversation, mate. This is maybe a bit of a surprise. Supposedly, there have been discussions at Chelsea into Alexander Mitrovic. It's likely he would swap Fulham for Chelsea. Well, I mean, obviously, I mean, I think that's a bit of a no-brainer. I'm not saying this is going to happen by any accounts, but how would you feel about Mitrovic at Chelsea? Because I look at him, kind of a good profile for Chelsea, physical, rugged. A bit of a shit house as well, which is good. And you know, he does score goals in the Premier League. But what would your thoughts be? I don't know if it's the right answer, but then again, what is the right answer in centre forward for Chelsea? Because we've tried the expensive, proven strikers, and most of them have flopped. So maybe if we lower the bar slightly and go for someone that's not quite at that level, but sort of the next level or so down, we might have better fortunes. I mean, where do you stand on Mitrovic? And secondly, where do you stand on us actually just not going for a big name striker and trying something different?
Yeah, we should definitely just try a different approach with strikers, bro. Because this number 9 thing is just this curse is just going on. And if Mitrovic does come, just avoid the number 9 shirt. Just don't take it. Just take someone else's shirt, to be honest. But I actually wouldn't mind Mitrovic, bro. I think he's quality, man. He reminds me of Diego Costa so much, man. The way, but I think a very slower version of Costa. But I think they're both very very similar in terms of their shithousery, their physical presence towards defenders as well. Finishing ability, Mitrovic's finishing ability is really good. His hold up play is underrated
as well.
Exactly, which we've been lacking in terms of a centre forward that's been good in the air, but apart from when Giroud was here. So yeah, I wouldn't mind Mitrovic as an option. Obviously, Ivan Toney was the option, but given his situation at the moment, I think that's dead in the water at the moment. But
that fucks the whole situation, which that would have been, for me, that would have been the ideal signing for us in the summer. Ivan Toney,
but I think Mitrovic as an option, I don't think it's the worst option to have. And I know he's been pictured in the Chelsea store a couple of times as well.
Yeah, his kids support Chelsea.
Yeah, so I mean, you never know. He might end up at Chelsea one day. Who knows? And I think the players around him as well, like the players like Mudryk, Madueke, I think they'll link up well with him. Enzo Fernandez finding those passes that he always makes into the box as well. I think he'll feast off that as well. And he might, who knows? He might convince Palhinha to come to Chelsea. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, Palhinha is another one in the midfield that could be interesting. Yeah, let's move away from this Mitrovic stuff. Let's move on to what else have we got? What else is being said in here? There's a lot of stuff to get through in here. There is a long-standing interest in Lautaro Martinez. He's appreciated by incoming manager Mauricio Pochettino. Lautaro, obviously Inter Milan again. Decent. He's had a good season, back-to-back 25-plus goal seasons for him. I like him as a player. Yes, he didn't have a particularly good World Cup, but that's no judgment of a player. I'm just not sure how he'd fit at Chelsea. I don't know if his profile suited to playing alone. I think he can play the lone striker, but at Inter when they've gone 3-5-2, he's always played up with someone. He's played up with Lukaku when he was there. He's also played up with Edin Dzeko. So he works in a two, but I also think he can work as a lone front man as well. I like him. He's growing on me a bit more. He's obviously a good finisher, a good goal scoring capabilities. And, goals, like you don't get big goal totals in Serie A already for top scorers. It's not a league renowned for goals being banged in by strikers. It's very much more known for its defensive style of football. Where do you stand with Lautaro? Because for me, this would interest me a little bit, Lautaro. I can't lie. It does move me a little bit. I think it could be good for the club. And if ultimately for me, if Pochettino wants him, then we have to give Poch what he wants and trust his judgment. But in terms of your opinion, bro, what are you saying?
Oh, I'm saying no to Lautaro, man. I just don't rate him at all. If I'm being honest with you, it's just from what I've seen of him, I'm not really that impressed with him. If I'm being honest with you, yeah, I don't know. I'd say no to Lautaro, and I think it screams out one of those like big marquee signings that sort of would flop at Chelsea. It'll be another one of those, I think. And yeah, I mean, if Poch wants him, I mean, obviously I'll back Lautaro in a Chelsea shirt. If he proves me wrong, he proves me wrong. Fair play. I'll come on or whatever stream and say I was wrong. But yeah, I just don't rate Lautaro, to be honest with you.
No, not feeling Lautaro.
I mean, not really. Nah, not for me.
Jerry Z in the chat, big up. I left Tottenham to become a Chelsea fan because of Poch. Fair. I mean, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Welcome to the trophy side.
Yeah, had to choose between Tottenham and Poch, and I chose to be a traitor and become a London Blue. He's magic, Mate, I can't wait for next season, right? Spurs.
Tottenham away.
Spurs away, mate. Pochettino, he's magic, the whole game. It's going to be great. I hope it's first game of the season. I'll be absolutely loving it if that's the case. It might not be, but we can always hope. Let's move away from Lautaro. There is Jonathan David is an outside option for Chelsea as well. It looks like Lille will cash in on him this summer. I think he was joint top scorer or he was second top scorer in Liga behind obviously Kylian Mbappe. I like Jonathan David. I think he's a decent player. Again, don't know loads and loads about him. Good goal scorer. Can play wide as well. I mean, mate, is this the sort of player potentially sort of maybe he's kind of next rung down, not as quote unquote well known within the game? That could maybe be a bit of a game changer for Chelsea. It's an outside option. I mean, where do you where do you sit on Jonathan David and what do you know about him?
Apart from when he sort of played against us, I haven't really watched much of Jonathan David. If I'm being honest with you, the chat can let us know as well about their thoughts on Jonathan David as well. But yeah, I haven't really had much of him this season, to be honest. Apart from when you just told me now that he's second highest top scorer.
He definitely got. I think he had 20 goals in Liga, or maybe a few more.
Yeah, that is quite good considering the company that he has to sort of come up against in terms of that front three of PSG. But yeah, if I sort of pick between him or Lautaro, God, I don't know. Yeah, it's tough. I'll probably go Lautaro over David, to be honest, just because I've sort of watched Lautaro a little bit more than David. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really moved by Jonathan David either.
No, that's fair. I mean, look, I don't think this is particularly going to happen. It's an outside chance being quoted as probably not. I mean, the other one that is doing the rounds is reasonable is that of Dusan Vlahovic. I can't really find if there's anything. We're not going to go through all this today. We'll be here all day. Yeah, Dusan Vlahovic. What are you saying on him?
I wouldn't mind him, to be honest. I think he's quite different to the normal strikers that we're sort of linked with. He's obviously young as well. And yeah, he's obviously was linked with Arsenal a few years ago and stuff. And Arsenal tend to get their sort of like recruitment targets spot on in the sense where they recruit players. They actually, like barely of them turn into flops. and I think he'll suit the system as well as a deadly finisher as well. Vlahovic as well. He's got a good left foot as well. So, and I think we can, if we create the amount of chances we do for him, I think he could be a useful weapon for us. And for the price as well, probably costs around 30 million. Not even that, I think, for Vlahovic. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what the price would be. I don't know what Juventus' financial situation is. Obviously, not qualifying for the Champions League for next season is obviously not going to have helped them. Playing under Allegri, I don't think suits Vlahovic. I don't think he particularly likes him. If a new manager were to come in the summer at Juve, maybe that changes things. I don't really know.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind Vlahovic as an outside shout. But yeah, this comment here,
Julian Alvarez. Yeah, but we're not going to get Alvarez. He literally just signed a new extension by Man City to 2028. No chances as Alvarez leaving. Let's round this one out, mate, with a quick chat about young fullbacks, because what else could we possibly talk about? Let's start with Ian Martin. Obviously, has had a great season on loan at Burnley this season as they won the Championship under Vincent Kompany. Previous season at Coventry, mate, you probably would have seen quite a lot of him there. He was very good as well. Chelsea are quite well stocked in left backs now with Hall, Cucurella, Chilwell, and obviously Ian Martin as well. Rob saying here that Ian Martin has an offer on the table from an unnamed club. Burnley are also expected to come in with a permanent offer. Dutch teams are following the situation. For me, I feel given Lewis Hall, given Cucurella and Chilwell, I think Martin will be sold this summer. Another loan deal doesn't really make sense, having done back-to-back loans. Would you agree on that, mate? And how much do you rate Martin?
Yeah, I think we have to try and recoup some money for sort of homegrown talent as well, because obviously of our FFP situation with the summer with selling homegrown players. So I think him or Hall, definitely we have to sell at least one of them.
I think for me, it's got to be Martin.
Yeah, it's got to be Maatsen, I think, because we haven't really seen him in the Chelsea shirt. We haven't really seen him sort of play under the system that we have already. And I don't know if, well, you never know. Poch might like him, to be honest, because look what he did with sort of Danny Rose back in the day.
Who goes though?
Lewis Hall maybe, but I don't know. I actually think it'll just be a toss of a coin between both of them.
I think in terms of a permanent transfer, Martin, I think, is the obvious one.
Obviously, Maatsen will be the obvious one. I think purely because he's been at Burnley and stuff, and I think we can get at least 30-40 million for him. But depending on how Cucurella does this season,
Cucurella needs to have a bad season. Cucurella's not been good. We know that, but again, I feel I don't like chucking players in the bin after one season.
Yeah,
and we're not going to get. No one's going to bid for Cucurella a serious price that we would consider, like after 1 year and after the season that he's had. So yeah, in principle, it sounds great, but the reality is, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Maatsen's done. He did well at Cov City last year as well.
Yeah.
Watched him a couple of times. Did well there. But obviously, went to Burnley after that. He smashed it this season with Burnley.
Really
got a tune out of him as well. So yeah, I expect him to stay there, whether that's a loan or a permanent move. But I don't think it's the end of the world, to be honest, because I think at the moment we've got adequate cover at left back at the moment. So
I would absolutely agree on that one. Just last thing then, mate, on Lewis Hall. Obviously, we've seen him quite a lot recently these last few games. I think he's done really well playing in a position that's not his natural position. He always maintained he's a midfield player. That's his best position, but he's been excelling at left wing back and left back. Certainly in the last few games, has done a really good job for the club here. Now, he's been linked with a loan move to Crystal Palace. Chelsea want to offer Lewis Hall a new contract, but they have not decided whether he is to stay or go on loan next season. Now, he's been linked with a move to Crystal Palace. Where's this, mate? Is this like an official breaking news? Like, is this a Fabrizio? Here we go. Are these like? Is this like decent sources, or are we talking fucking ketchup in the cupboard sources? What are we saying to this? Is this actual done, or like? I'm not sure. Maybe you can find me something that where you've seen this, then let me know, because I haven't come across anything yet.
Yeah, I'll look as well.
Lewis Hall, mate.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Do you think he should go on loan next season?
Yes, I do think you should go. I was just laughing at that comment. Love a bit of catch up, man. Love a bit of catch up. But
Oh,
oh god, what I'm
good,
saying?
all
Yeah,
good fun. Yeah, mate. Would you send
Lewis
Lewis Hall
Hall.
on loan? Do you think
Yeah,
he needs that?
yeah, definitely. Especially for game time, and to sort of possibly progress into the first team, in the future as well. I think it'll be a good loan move for him wherever he goes. I mean, obviously Crystal Palace, his name
I
has
know it'd
been
be great. I
mentioned for a
think
loan. I think
Palace
that'd
would
be
be
great.
great for him.
It'd be a great loan move. I actually think any sort of Prem club at the moment I think would be great unless unless he goes to Luton, then okay, yeah, no, forget that. But I think another loan move would be great for him. Even somewhere like a Brighton, for example, I think would be great. A great loan move for him. I mean, it's
Yeah,
unlikely he goes to
maybe. I
Brighton,
mean,
but
yeah, well, maybe. I mean, it could be a player. I mean, I don't know if they need a left back or whatever, but yeah, I think look, for me, it makes sense for Hall to go out on loan and play a lot, but at the same time, I think he's the sort of player that Poch might really like. But then, where does he get the minutes though that he's going to need at his age to push on and develop, and the minutes that he wants? Because let's be real, playing once a week, Chilwell, if he's fit, is going to play most weeks. Cucurella will rotate every so often. I just don't see where Lewis Hall gets the minutes he needs right now. Maybe a loan move is the best option for him, and I think
yeah,
Crystal Palace would be a great loan move for him. I think it would be spot on.
yeah, definitely. I think with the manager, they've got the players that they've sort of got as well.
I mean,
We've got history with
Graham
Palace
Potter
as
might
well.
go there as well.
Yeah, yeah, he gets to team up with Potter again. But yeah, Crystal Palace has been like a kind of like a well, I wouldn't say a feeder club, but
No, but we've
it's
had
been like a
loans.
place where
We sent
successful
Ruben
loan
there. We
move.
sent Gallagher there.
Yeah, Ruben Gallagher. Obviously, we sold Mark Gay. They smashing it there as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, we learned anyone else out there? No. Well, yeah, about 3 or 4 players. Let's just say
yeah,
that. And if Lewis Hall's another one, I think it'd be great. Is it Tyreek Mitchell that plays left back right now for Palace? Yeah, and he
yeah.
obviously hasn't done that well this season. So
No,
I think it'll be a really good move for Lewis Hall. And then let's just say in the future, let's just say we end up recalling Matson in 2 seasons' time, and then Palace really want Hall, and they're offering us, let's just say, 30 million for Hall. I think we should take that, to be honest with you, depending on Matson's development and how he sort of does as
yeah. I
well.
mean,
But
I think this summer we can definitely probably get about 30 million for Ian Martin. I don't think that's too difficult to do. And I think, to be honest, it makes sense with the financial position we're in. The fact we basically got 4 left backs, one of them needs to go this summer minimum. So Martin's going to be the obvious one. Burnley would try and sign him. I think he'd probably be happy to stay there. Maybe he's Dutch. If it was Ajax that were interested potentially, or it was a Feyenoord or a PSV, then maybe he'd be more inclined to go back to Holland there and play for one of the top sides there. I don't know. But you know, there's it's when you think about it, it's mad. Like what we're talking about here in terms of how many players we've got, and people just don't think about it.
yeah, we got loads. Yeah, like I even sent a sort of list to a couple of people that I was speaking to about um after the sort of the United game of the players that we could sell. Like there's literally 10 to 15 players that we could sell, man. Honestly, it's just like yeah. And if we had Matson and Lewis Hall there, that's another like 2 players that we can get money for. So yeah, it's a bit crazy, man.
It is mad. It is mad. What have we got here? Poch managed Spurs. The budget was non-existent. Why is De Zerbi so praised for finishing 6th? Because Brighton have never played European football ever in their history. Poch finished top 4. Yeah, he's definitely got the furniture to win titles at Chelsea, no doubt about it. I bet we don't even get 20 mil for Martin, more like 15. Everyone knows we're having a fire sale in the next month. Yeah, but yeah, they do know that. But I still think players like Martin do retain decent value. I'd be shocked if we didn't get like 20 million for him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the max we'll get from him is 30. I think that's what me and Charlie sort of saying is like the maximum we can get is 30. I don't think we can go beyond 30 for Max. I mean, great if we do, but realistically, I don't think we'll get above 30 million for Max. And like 15 to 20, yeah, I guess it's more sort of like a minimum that we should be asking for him.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Right. I think it seems like a good place to round this one out. We've covered a lot of stuff here. There's been plenty of people tuning in, which I massively appreciate. As always, big up to everyone in the chat that's tuned in. Thank you for all your comments and all your interaction throughout. Welcome to all the new subscribers. If there are any of you that have subscribed to the channel, join the community, welcome on board. Great to have you here with me. On the way out, guys, keep smashing those likes. Let's try and get this to 50 likes on the way out. I think it's about 7 or 8 more likes to get there. So please do that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already as we head towards 4,000 subscribers now. Let's set an ambitious target. Let's see if we can get there before the season starts next season. A couple of months to try and get about 900 subscribers. Let's see what we can do, people. So, yeah, lock in, subscribe. And, yeah, I'll be bringing you plenty of Chelsea news over the summer months, guys. Dharmesh, thanks for your time as always, bro. Massively appreciated. Make sure you follow Dharmesh on Twitter, guys. Linked in description and on his stream. And there you can also pop over and give me a follow on Twitter as well whilst you're at it. My handle is on the screen right now.
Just one last quick thing.
Yeah.
I'm just looking now. Apparently, Bayern Munich have launched a 95 million Declan Rice transfer bid to rival Arsenal by Mira Darren.
Oh, Darren. Oh, yeah, no, mate. To be fair, he's actually pretty good. He's pretty spot on. When was that from?
I think literally about well, it says 8:40 in here, so yeah, about 35 minutes,
half hour ago. Yeah, mate.
Not sure how reliable that is, but yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, guys, follow us on Twitter. Do all the good stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back on maybe tomorrow. Definitely back Wednesday, where I've got Sava from Football Heritage TV coming on to discuss Pochettino from a Spurs perspective. And then on Thursday, we've got Ben Jacobs jumping on the show as well for all that transfer goodness and Chelsea stuff. So stay locked in with plenty of content coming over the next couple of days. Big up everyone in the chat. Subscribe, smash the likes on the way out. And I'll catch you again soon. Up the Chelsea, people.